everything. All right, guys, we're live. Let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay. Let's do a quick audio and visual check as usual. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I can see that you guys are excited for this one. Smash up the likes as we're coming in. And this one is going to be a slightly unusual live stream because I will also have some people watching me in person. So it's not the first time I've done this, but I've never done this at a financial summit. And as many of you know who follow my Instagram, you will know that I am at Tonevase's financial summit right now. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time. I can already see that you guys are telling me that the audio and video is good. Thank you very much. Well, let's get straight into it. So Bitcoin ended up getting a nice break to the upside this morning. If we take a look at this on a 1 hour time frame, we penetrated both areas of resistance that I had drawn in this chart pretty much within the space of 1 or 2 hours. And that to me is a very significant sign, right? I love to see that we were able to push up very quickly. And what's even better than just the fact that we got this breakout above resistance levels is that this came after a very extended period of sideways trading, some sideways consolidation. This is really, really good. You know, the last time that we targeted this $67,000 level, we came targeting it, pardon me, after a 21-day rally that took us up by 64%. This time, we're targeting $64,000 after correcting for 16 days, trading within a range that stretches from high to low by 10%. So comparing a 64% range, this isn't even a range, this is a trend, to a 10% range in the extremes, and actually more realistically only fluctuating in a 5% range for most of that time. That's a big deal. This is by all accounts a different and significantly better attempt at breaching the all-time high than last time. This is undeniable in my opinion. And to me, that makes it a very powerful rally. To me, that means that this is very special and that this is going to potentially turn into something very, very cool. So I can see somebody already asking if this is going to be a double top. I will talk about that a little bit later on in this live stream. As we are coming in, guys, please do me a favor and smash up the likes. I'm still dealing with the annoying algorithm change after changing the YouTube channel name. And the only way these live streams reach subscribers is if you guys show some engagement on it. If we do well here and you guys do appreciate this live stream, I will keep this going for a long time. And I have a special treat for you because I'm going to try and get some or all of the other YouTubers that are at this summit to join. That includes Crypto, Da Vinci, Carl the Moon, Crypto Alex. I'm probably forgetting a bunch, Crypto Mo. There's a lot of cool people here. If you guys are enjoying this and showing me that, I will do my best to get them on for you as well. But I will talk about the possibility of this being a double top shortly later on in this live stream. For now, though, I think it's absolutely essential to, first understand what we're coming off the back of, right? Previously, it was an extremely overextended rally. This time, we've had amazing consolidation. We've had an amazing correction. This lasted a very, very long time. Those of you who were watching me quite a bit will also know that I was talking to you about a symmetrical triangle of sorts that looks a little bit like this. Bitcoin obviously got a very nice breakout above from this symmetrical triangle as well. Definitely a confirmed breakout. We've now managed to rise 7% above that above that resistance. And we are just now basically challenging that previous all-time high. We set that previous all-time high at $67,000. Today we managed to peak at about 66.5. So really we did get there already. And we're just now starting to encounter a little bit of a challenge in terms of resistance. We can see that Bitcoin had a very easy time rising from 63.5 all the way up to 65. As soon as we crossed 65, that uptrend started to slow down. You know, we were initially moving up very, very quickly. We're now moving up with an angle of attack that looks a little bit more like this. And this is generally considered to be a bad setup for any financial market. The reason people generally won't like to see this in the financial markets is that you're going to first be having a lot of momentum to the upside, and then this shows us that we're actually losing momentum and people are becoming a little bit less bullish here than they were over here. And if that's the case, the fear, what that leads people to believe is that we're going to continue to lose momentum, and we're going to see something that looks a little bit more like this. And I'm not really demonstrating this well. Something a little bit more like this. Nope, still not demonstrating it well. Basically showing that we are losing momentum in a fashion similar to this, and then we start dropping down like a ball. That's generally the idea that people will have when they look at, you know, the market losing momentum like this. Although those of you who have been subscribed for a while, shout out to those of you who have, you'll know very well that I always talk about this pattern generally being quite a bullish thing for Bitcoin, because the way I interpret this for Bitcoin is not that there was an extremely bullish bias right here and now we've lost some of it. The way I'm seeing this is that there was an extremely bullish bias over here and we can't bloody cool down, and the market just keeps trying to push higher levels because it's so irrationally or in some way it's so exuberant, and that potentially leads the market to then blow up and reach some very, very nice levels from there. That's the way I'm seeing this, because see, the thing is obviously it would be great if we could get some, you know, resistance hits and start dropping down to back test support areas, but I mean the way we had our previous rally, we weren't really doing that, right? I mean, our previous rally up from 40,000 to 67 had no pullbacks. I mean, this is the only real pullback I can kind of see, and this one didn't even go very deep. This was a 6% pullback from memory. Let's take a look. Yeah, right there, it was a 6% pullback that we saw in the market. You could maybe count this pullback right here, but it lasted like 1 second, so I don't really think that's a very real pullback at all. And that's just a characteristic of this trend, ladies and gents. It's that Bitcoin isn't really getting good pullbacks in this market, which is very annoying for someone like myself that wants to trade it. But of course, that does tell us a little bit about the sentiment in the market and how excited people are. So, you know, this is still consolidation as far as I'm concerned, if we kind of slowly trend upwards and then bam, we break up again. So for me, obviously that key level to watch is going to be the $67,000 level, and then we get to start talking about the very exciting things like how high this market can go if we breach those levels, which I will be talking about in just a minute. Bear with me while I get to that, but for now, that also looks really good. I want to take a quick moment to just check out what the key indicators that I like to use are showing me in terms of support and resistance on this chart. On the 1 hour time frame, we're very far away from support, and this is the same picture you're going to keep seeing right now. We're again very far away from support on the 4 hour time frame, and very, very far away on the daily time frame as well. Bitcoin has no support where it is right now, other than some of these horizontal levels, which is to say that if we did initiate a dump, don't be surprised if this thing did end up dropping quite low. Now, like I said, we haven't had that kind of thing as a characteristic of this rally so far, right? Bitcoin is not getting good pullbacks in this rally. We did have an extended period of consolidation, which is absolutely great. It did not cut very deep. It was only a 13% correction from top to bottom. This is actually a little bit more because of this massive scam wick, but this isn't like printed on other exchanges. This is just Bitstamp being bad at their job. But what I think is very important to keep in mind is that you know, it's like, yes, there isn't good support for Bitcoin until it manages to drop at least by $2,000, in my opinion. Will it actually do that? Well, it's just not a characteristic of this trend. So I'm in two minds about it. Personally, I'm still anticipating Bitcoin falling back down to this level. It would be very healthy if we did. It really would. Again, I don't know if it's going to happen. I really hope it does. But you know, if it did, yeah, it would be absolutely great for the health of this market. It would be really, really good to see that. It would give me a lot of confidence. Let's take a look at the moving averages. Bam, 1 hour EMA ribbon at this level right now. 4 hour EMA ribbon at this level right now as well. So these shorter term signs of momentum in the market definitely showing us that we should be able to find some support around these levels. And the thing is that, you know, I don't think we would necessarily, you know, slowly drop down to this level, right? I don't think if we're coming down to this green box that it would be a slow ride down that takes a couple of days. No, I think this is something that can just happen, you know, like in a few hours at most, because there is no price history in this level. you know, in this range. So if we take a look at this on the Gemini chart where I don't have anything drawn, I'm just going to slap one horizontal line down right here. And I'm just going to ask you one simple question, ladies and gents. Where is the price history for Bitcoin? And the only time that we had any trading activity above this green line is circled in these two yellow circles right now. So there is basically nothing. If we measure this in terms of Bitcoin's time for its history, it's spent, what is this, 44 hours previously in October, and now we've spent a further, what, like 17-18 hours, right? So they're basically nothing. I mean, we've spent around 3 days in total of Bitcoin's entire lifespan of, I don't know, 12 years. We've spent that little time above this green line, which is a way of me demonstrating to you that Bitcoin has not had a chance or any time or any opportunities to establish resistance on the way up, so you cannot expect support on the way back down. This is the curse of rising up quickly. If you move up very quickly, you must move down quickly as well. There are very few exceptions. Of course, it happens where this isn't the case, but it's not very common. Thank you all for tuning in to the live stream. I'll take a quick look at the chat as I go on, and if you, as long as Da Vinci isn't drunk and annoying, last time he did have a few drinks, but he was completely fine. I think you guys were being a little bit too harsh on him. But if you are enjoying this live stream so far and you're excited for the other YouTubers to join us, then do me a favor, smash up those likes. We're still battling the algorithm after I renamed this channel. The videos are performing completely fine, but the live streams are absolutely terrible, which is annoying for me because I prefer doing live streams compared to actual videos, but there's no point me doing them if they're not going to reach the audience that actually subscribe to this channel. So when you guys do click those like and subscribe buttons, it does also help blast this video out to the people who actually otherwise want to see this. They just don't get notified because YouTube isn't quite doing their job. But yeah, right there, I think there's a good reason to expect a drop down there. We're only seeing momentum indicators give us support down there, but to me, that could potentially be enough. And then I think if we manage to break that all-time high at 67, things could get very, very exciting. I'm looking at a target of first $72,000, and I'll talk about that. Actually, I'll talk about that right now. So let's go back over to my Bitstamp chart where I have the triangle drawn. And really the whole point of this analysis right here, how I came to the $72,000 target, is very simply, I want to measure the height of this pennant from the beginning touch right here. Why is it this touch and not, for example, anything over here? Well, it's because there was no touch of support. This is the first point on the symmetrical triangle where both levels have basically been touched. And all I'm going to do here is just get a trend line, draw it from the bottom of this symmetrical triangle all the way up to the top with a very straight line, bam, right there. And then I'm going to drag this up to our breakout point, and this can give me a speculative target of $61,500. So definitely a nice breakout point. Also, you can draw this trend line a little bit differently, something a bit more like this, and that then raises our breakout level to about over here, and our new target is 72.5. So somewhere between $71,000 and $73,000 is where I think Bitcoin could be looking to move for its next leg. Its only resistance that stands between us and that $73,000 level is the prior all-time high. Why is it resistance? Well, it's purely because it's a psychologically charged area. It's an area that sent Bitcoin down. It's an area that we've consolidated after hitting, and so a lot of people are going to have this. Oh, what have I done? A lot of people don't question why I was searching that. It was something that Da Vinci was talking about in the summit that looks really weird out of context. I'm not even going to go into it, but if you do scrub back in the video, it's because Da Vinci was talking about it and it was a bit of a joke in the summit. I know someone's going to blow this out of proportion, out of context right now, but yeah, what I am seeing here is that because this was a psychologically charged area on the chart, this can potentially be a little bit of resistance. I don't know why I'm saying potentially. It is resistance right now. This is why we've slowed down. The next area that I potentially see being a problem for Bitcoin is $70,000 right there. Why do I think it's resistance? Purely because it's another psychologically charged level on the chart. And this is something that a lot of people perhaps don't take into account, but I think it's very, very important, which is simply understanding right here that you know, we are going to be finding resistance at areas which which are just round numbers. And the reason for that is that we've never traded above this prior all-time high, and so we have very few tools to gauge where the market might top now. The only real tools that I think we can reliably use, other than things like Fibonacci extensions, which are a little bit too complicated for this live stream, is going to be round numbers. I'll just level with you right now. Where are you and I going to look to take profits on our Bitcoin positions, right? I mean, if you don't plan on staying in your Bitcoin position forever, you're probably going to want to take profits at 75, 80, 95, 99, 100, 125. These round numbers, these significant psychologically charged numbers are generally where the market might kind of gravitate towards, and then just stop under, or at least find a little bit of resistance. And so that's why I think 70 could turn out to be a little bit of a challenge for Bitcoin, but I'm definitely seeing this being a nice healthy target for Bitcoin's first leg after breaking this pennant. I really don't see this getting bad for Bitcoin now. I want to talk about the possibility of if this can turn sour after this. I'll switch over to Ethereum and some of the other altcoins. Of course, I'll take a look at my new best friend Shiba, because this has been a lot of fun to trade, and I will also start taking your questions as well. So thank you very much for dropping them in the comments as we're going along. Let's quickly glance over what might cause some problems for Bitcoin now. So really, I mean, one of the key things somebody's asked about in the live chat already is, are we going to set a double top and then massively trend lower? Look, I think this is very, very unlikely. The reason I think that's the case is because Bitcoin fundamentally is pretty strong right now, so it doesn't make sense to me that this uptrend finishes. Also, it's had a lot of consolidation. It's still in a very it was still in a very bullish place this whole time for the bull market, right? I mean, it didn't really, it's not like there was some massive sign of, us reaching irrational exuberance or anything like that. We had a really good correction, a very healthy correction. Things were moving well in this market, in my opinion. And it's not like we, put it this way at the end, because really what a double top right here implies is that we're going to drop down, sweep this low, and continue dropping down to at least 53, if not lower. That's what a double top would mean. Otherwise, just falling from here a little bit, and then potentially finding support exactly where I said, around 63. This would be super bullish for Bitcoin, and I don't think anybody would really call this a double top. So a double top would be a very significant development in this market right now, and I just don't think we're there. It just, to me, it doesn't make sense that we would hit 64, correct all the way down to 28, 29 over the course of 6 months, and then, well, I mean, we corrected down here over the course of about 2 or 3 months, but it then took us 6 months to set a new all-time high. And realistically, my opinion on this is, if you do zoom out, the only real double top situation that we potentially had to face has already been dealt with, and it wasn't a double top because we're challenging it again right now. So I'm not worried about that. I think if there was going to be a double top, it would have been this right here, and it wasn't. Bitcoin surpassed that all-time high, consolidated under the all-time high, which is by far, in my opinion, the most bullish thing you can do. Those of you who are watching my YouTube channel way back, it's not even that long ago, to be honest, but just before Bitcoin broke that all-time high last year, at the end of last year, you're going to remember that I was saying the same thing. Bitcoin was consolidating just under $20,000, potentially getting ready to blow up really, really nicely. Those of you who are inside of my VIP group would know very well how I was trading the trend back then and made some phenomenal profits on that move up. Also made a very, very nice profit on Shiba just a couple of days ago. By the way, for those of you who were wondering, because I got a few messages about it, I exited almost all of my position around here and on the initial leg down. So definitely had some very good risk management there. Closed profits over 100%, and most of it was probably closed somewhere between 70 to 90% profit, which is pretty damn fantastic. And my moves on Ethereum have gone really, really well for me. You guys knew that I was buying Ethereum right at the bottom of this rally right here, all the way up, and I've now let me just measure this real quick so I know I have the numbers right. No, the numbers are wrong. I probably would have entered an average entry around over here, and that has netted me a 16% better performance than Bitcoin, which is basically me saying that because I bought Ethereum around these levels, I now have 16% more Bitcoin than I would have otherwise had. So by all accounts, in my opinion, that makes this a massive win, and I'm very, very happy with that. To be able to multiply my Bitcoin holdings by 1.16 is insane, in my opinion, because if Bitcoin now sets a new all-time high, which is, say, 20% higher than the previous all-time high, I'm gonna have 16% more Bitcoin on top of that. So this market is making me money without me having to do anything. So I'm really, really happy with that. But I am probably gonna update this position relatively soon. I might actually want to scale out of it, and I'm gonna keep VIPs all how do I say, in the loop on that. So if you want to get in and find out what the deal is, it's the first link in the description down below, and then the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of my 4flies Gold Telegram channel. This first link is going to take you there, and then you can click on send message to ask me how to join, and we'll get you straight inside by the end of this live stream. My assistants are online right now, so we can onboard you as I speak. If BitBoy is around, you should smack him. He's not around. I'm sorry, I can't do that for you. I'll get to the rest of your questions in just a minute, but I want to continue talking about what could possibly go wrong for Bitcoin. I've already acknowledged the possibility of a double top and why I don't think that's going to happen. But let's now move on to, I mean, well, what else is there that's bearish about this chart? I can't really see it, to be honest. To me, there's, I try to be a bear when I have to be a bear, and I just can't really see what's going to send this market down at the minute. And for me, the key thing is that even if we do end up getting a move down, support around that 63k level should be very strong, in my opinion. If it's not strong, I'll probably be actually a little bit surprised. But I definitely think that it will be strong support, and yeah, that I mean, if it fails, I would then perhaps think that, I mean, you know, the thing is that this is all still support at the end of the day. So, you know, we can fail this green box and then fall into the slightly darker, well, that's not how you make a darker green box. Well, yeah, we can, no, that is, okay, never mind. You know, we can fail the first green box and then still find support in the next green box. So, I really can't be too worried about this right now. If we did fall below $60,000, I would start to get a little bit more concerned, but that's where the next area of support starts for Bitcoin, and that's a really big area of support. Take a look at this right here. This support is massive, in my opinion, and it stretches from 58.5 down to 53.5. That's a $5,000 support range. I'll make that even darker, so I really drive that point home. You know, which is basically to say that I'm not worried about this right now. I mean, Bitcoin can drop really low and still find a lot of support. I mean, it's gonna have to literally drop below $53,000 to make me concerned, and that is $13,000 away. I mean, like, it's very far, you know, that Bitcoin has to drop in order for me to start becoming worried about this. So I think it's in a really good place, realistically, with the short-term analysis, because I do think that's going to be quite important. Just for the minute, I want this, you know, bright green box to work out for Bitcoin. Whether it does or not is not in my hands, unfortunately. But that's definitely what I'm looking at just now. I will actually start going through your questions now, so please drop them in the comments. And a quick reminder, if you are writing a question for me, then please make sure to tag me, which means that you'd have to write my name @Sammy as you write your comment, to make sure that I actually see your comment. If you don't do this, I probably will not read it because there are too many comments. So I'm going to try and start from the top and go through a bunch of questions. If you are enjoying this live stream so far, you know exactly what to do. Thank you all so much for the engagement that you've already shown. 1 second while I just refresh the chat so I don't miss anything. My opinion on metaverse coins like Mana. Well, as you know, I'm not really a shitcoin expert or anything. So I couldn't really give you... Oh, this is the Euro chart. Wow, that is the most irrelevant chart you can possibly pull up. My bad. Let's go for the Coinbase, I'm sorry, the USD chart. Well, it's just pumped up massively over the last days. A little bit like Shiba. This looks like Shiba round 2, to be honest. Yeah, it really does. It's actually forming a descending triangle just like Shiba was. Bam, look at that. So this can... this really looks like a Shiba round 2. And the great thing about this chart, just like what I said earlier on in this live stream, ladies and gents, is that when you rise up this quickly, you're going to have a really nice rise up, but you've had absolutely no chance to establish any resistance on the way up, so you cannot expect any support on the way back down. You might still find it because you get lucky, but I don't know about you, I don't like to bank on luck when I've got my money behind a coin or any asset. So yeah, to me that does look pretty concerning if we do end up dropping. As I said, I've actually got somebody in person with me just watching this live stream, and he's got a question. So if you want to go ahead and shoot, please do.
So you said that you made 16 Bitcoin or
16% extra Bitcoin.
So were you trading Bitcoin ETH pair, or was that just money you made that then you converted into Bitcoin?
Yep. So I'll just repeat the question for those of you who didn't hear, because this person is physically with me but about a meter away. He's asking, when I was talking about making 16% profit on my Ethereum position, how did I do that? This was fairly straightforward. I bought Ethereum with my Bitcoin, and I bought Ethereum with my USD. And the second part is largely irrelevant, but the first part is very important. I basically transferred one crypto into another one in order to make more of the Bitcoin. And that's a move that I very rarely make. I mean, I'm saying it like it's a big deal, but obviously I know we have a bunch of, traders that do this for breakfast every day. But for me, selling my Bitcoin specifically for another token is a big deal, because I'm very greedy with my Bitcoin.
And then once you took profit, you converted it back?
I haven't done that yet. That's what I'm planning to do. Right now, it's in a nice 16% profit. And actually, I was buying Ethereum against Bitcoin going way back. I mean, like probably since these lows around here. It's always been at the lower end of this chart that I've been buying Ethereum. And it has purely been to make more Bitcoin, but I haven't sold any of that Ethereum position yet. Although just looking at this chart right now, it does make sense that Ethereum is about to top. And I don't think it's any coincidence that we're approaching this resistance level just now while Bitcoin is waking up. Because the thing to keep in mind about these coins, and actually I spoke about this earlier today in the summit, is that when we see Bitcoin rallying really hard, it can often leave the rest of the altcoin market in a path of dust. And I will demonstrate that to you all right now, just to drive this point very, very hard. If we take a look at Ethereum against Bitcoin, we can start to see that as soon as Bitcoin stabilizes, bam, right here, this is where Ethereum really starts to blow up. Take a look at this. Ethereum really moving up very, very nicely. As soon as Bitcoin starts trending up in a serious way again, and that serious trend probably only starts, if we zoom in, probably only starts on this big candle right here. Take a look at this. If I drop a red line just before that, you can see that it's as soon as Bitcoin drops and stabilizes, the altcoin market, specifically Ethereum, so the big ones, they rally really, really nicely. But when Bitcoin starts catching wings again, catching airtime and being exciting, that's when these alts almost immediately start to crash. So to me, it makes a lot of sense right now that we're seeing Ethereum rally against Bitcoin right now, but I mean, it's really close to resistance. At its current price against Bitcoin, according to the way I've drawn this, we're only 5% away, and if we measure it from the high, we're only about 2% away. So really, Ethereum very close to a potential danger zone against Bitcoin, and it's no coincidence that we're starting to see this just when Bitcoin, the big dragon, has started to wake up. How does that sit with you? Is that okay? Any questions?
No, you answered my question. Thank you,
cool.
Sammy.
No problem, man. No problem. Let's go back to the live chat. I want to go through the rest of the questions that we have here. Unfortunately, guys, this is not getting caught in the algorithm today. We're just being unlucky. It's very hit and miss. Sometimes the views are like triple this, and other times it stays completely dead. And unfortunately, this is one of those bad days, so I'm not going to keep this live stream going for significantly longer because no one's going to be able to see it compared to the normal audience size. But I'll check out the chat. I think all the YouTubers are actually just having dinner at the minute. Yeah, so they probably wouldn't be joining just for now. But if somehow this live stream does end up continuing for the next half an hour, 1 hour, I'm sure they'll be able to start joining. What are the settings for my Ichimoku cloud? 20, 60, 120, 30 in that order. Possible fib extension for market tops. I don't do fib extensions. I'm very sorry. What do I think? Can we leverage at the stage? That is up to you. Please shed some light on SNX and SXP. I haven't heard of either of them. I don't want to look at shitcoins just for now. I'm going to keep going through the normal questions just for the minute, and then I'll get back to them later on. What stable coins do I buy? Just USD or GBP or euros, but the real stable coins, not crypto ones. I don't really believe in them. TA on Solana, sure, I'll get to that in a minute. Let me know if you have any more kind of normal questions for me to cover in this live stream. It's still work time in North America. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is that this is quite a normal time for me to stream. I mean, it's perhaps just an hour or two earlier, but those 1 or 2 hours shouldn't actually make a big difference. So that's why I've said what I'm saying. But yeah, and it's very hit and miss. Dave is saying he got a notification 30 minutes earlier. Most people, I've checked the analytics for this, most people just aren't getting notifications. So one of the ways we can reach more people is when YouTube sees the live stream is being engaged with pretty nicely, they do start pushing it out. I see this every single time you guys pump up the likes, but it needs to be pumped up really high. And obviously not everybody is going to engage with every live stream, which is completely normal and completely fine. Someone asked for Solana, so let's take a quick look at that and see what's up there. I'm not sure which chart I should be looking at for Solana. Let's go for the FTX chart. So it's continued to move up with a lot of strength in this trend. Right now, potentially, well, it looks like it's in a similar pattern, right? Take a look at this. It makes a leg up. It forms that staircase step. I always talk about the same thing. Move up, staircase step, move up again. And this right here, I'm seeing as being another potential consolidation zone after it moves up fairly quickly, then slows down, potentially getting ready to blow up again. This coin has been moving up if Bitcoin moves up, and it's been moving up if Bitcoin moves down. So it's been incredibly strong. And from a technical perspective, I can't see that changing just for now. How high can Ethereum go? I will get to Ethereum in just a bit. I want to keep going through your normal questions, and then I will switch over to Ethereum analysis in just a moment. But look at that. It is right now at 4,800. Just set a new all-time high as we speak. Beautiful. Just during this live stream, Ethereum is setting brand new all-time highs right now. Very, very cool. It's nice to be in this position. But those of you who've watched me for a while, you'll know that I like to sell when the market is up. It's a massive shocker. I like to take profits when the market is rising. I know people generally can't swallow that kind of idea and accept it, but that's how I like to do it. I like to take profits when it's green. I like to buy when it's red. And a lot of people really have a lot of trouble accepting that and understanding why you would possibly buy low and sell high. But here I am telling you that this is what I'm doing because I'm a real trader, not just here to jack myself off to high prices like a lot of other people. And of course, that's one of the key reasons that I'm now looking at exiting that Ethereum position, or at least part of it. It doesn't mean that I'm bearish. It just means I'm securing profits. And a lot of people have big problems with that because of pride and emotional attachment and things like that. And these are the same problems I used to encounter. But obviously, because I've gone through a couple of market cycles now, and I've absolutely just been through the ringer and been destroyed and been a king and been and then been humiliated and then been a king again and all that. I know now that it's just better to take profits. Years of getting absolutely screwed has helped a lot in these markets for me. Anyway, let's go right back to the questions. Is Cardano breaking out right now? Oh, it definitely looks like it could be. Let's take a look at Cardano. It's just made a nice move as well. Well, the problem with Cardano is that it has a lot of resistance right here at about, well, yeah, basically where it is at $2.10. It was consolidating here and finding support for a very long time, so we must expect that this can turn back into resistance. It's already served as resistance once and given us a very nasty smack back down. Is that going to happen again? I don't think so. This is a very good resistance hit, so I wouldn't expect us to get a big one this time. Maybe we do still get a rejection, but I wouldn't anticipate it's going to be super strong, and then perhaps we manage to continue on higher a little bit. Let's see what else we have here. Hi, Super Content, as always. Thank you very much. What do I think about Litecoin? I've actually become massively bullish on Litecoin. Let me take a look at this against Bitcoin right here. It's just in a small move up. The reason that I became very bullish on Litecoin recently is if we take a look at this on a very long-term chart, and I show you this perhaps on the weekly time frame, it's just it's terrible. I mean, like it's at the lowest point it's ever traded at against Bitcoin, and this is going all the way back to, you know, early 2017, where I had this green line drawn from years ago. You know, I mean, its performance is terrible. It's moved so badly, but it's not actually a bad project. And that's one of the key things to keep in mind when you're looking at a chart like this, which is, why has it dropped so much? Has it dropped so much because the project failed? No, it didn't. Is it because it's just not sexy and exciting? And if it's the latter, because it's just not exciting in the market compared to Solana and whatever other coins are pumping really high, well, that's a problem you can solve fairly easily. All we need on Litecoin to get the same level of irrational exuberance that you see in the rest of the altcoin market is one big 20% lightsaber green candle that sends us higher. We only need one big pump, one fat-fingered buy order to push this market up inside of an already bullish market state, which is basically another way of me saying when we're already in a nice uptrend, when people are already optimistic, when they already want to take more risk on, all we need is one big buy order to pump the market up, and that is probably going to be enough to trigger a lot of fear of missing out, to trigger a lot of long positions to be opened and a lot of short positions consequently and stuff like that to be closed, and that I think is really going to help push these kind of markets very, very high. So Litecoin against Bitcoin, very exciting. And of course, this all goes back to my primary objective, which is always to accumulate more Bitcoin no matter what I'm trading. There we go. Brother, I love how honest you are. I love you as well. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we have in this live chat today. I'll probably just go right. Damn, Litecoin looks so undervalued on this chart. It does. This is the chart against Bitcoin, and it's just terrible. I mean, like, it is consistently losing value against Bitcoin, but it's not a shit coin. That's the thing, is it's not actually a bad project. And if we're getting that just purely, I mean, and it's not doing bad against the dollar, right? I mean, take a look at it against, it's not like this coin died, right? I mean, it definitely died against Bitcoin, but against the dollar, it's doing okay. It's doing okay. I mean, it didn't recover back up to its 2017 highs, but it's not, you know, I mean, this is the logarithmic chart. This isn't even, I'm sorry, this is the linear chart. This is the logarithmic chart, and it looks way better on this chart. But even on the linear chart, it looks fairly healthy to me. You know, it's really not, look, it's not doing as well as Ethereum. It's not doing as well as any of the other exciting coins right now. But guys, when you compare this to Bitcoin, to me, it's looking really strong. And I like that. I like knowing that this can potentially turn into something pretty nice. And this is something that I am looking to trade relatively soon. I've been discussing it a lot with the lead analyst I have in my team, but I haven't actually committed to anything just yet. I'll probably do that relatively soon. And I will keep all of those bits of information posted directly into VIP as soon as I decide on those things. And guys, just while I'm here real quick, for those of you who like free money, there is a link in the description where you can sign up to Bybit and gain up to $3,000 completely free of charge, just for signing up using my link and making your first deposit. So it's crucial that you make your first deposit. If you don't make a deposit, you're not going to get the free money. But as soon as you make that deposit, you can withdraw it and you will get your deposit bonus completely free of charge, just as a thank you for using my referral link in the description. So definitely check that out if you like getting free money of up to $3,000. Definitely a cool offer right there. Let me switch it back to Ethereum real quick and take a good look at this. My God, look at this on the weekly time frame. This looks like it needs a fucking pullback. This is a bit too much for my liking, to be honest. What is this on the? I mean, this is 4 weeks of consecutive upward weekly price action. And if we don't count this, we're in a 6-week uptrend since the last major pullback. So yeah, it's definitely moving in a fairly extreme way at the minute. If we zoom in even further, well, we're just knocking on the door of that $5,000 resistance area right now. So to me, this is making a lot of sense, where Ethereum against Bitcoin is approaching resistance. Bitcoin is potentially getting ready for a breakout. You know, the thing is, ladies and gents, I think that if Bitcoin gets a big rally to the upside right now, it's probably going to leave coins like Ethereum behind. And the reason that we're going to see that is that people at the end of the day are just greedy, and not much more than that. And you know, if you can't face that yet, you're probably lying to yourself, because you're most likely part of that camp as well. I sure as shit am. And so what people are going to do in these kind of situations in these markets is sell their tokens that they don't really care about into the safer asset, which rises very nicely, i.e. Bitcoin. This is why you see complete shit coins like Shiba fall through the floor and continue to fall, even though the bigger assets are looking healthy. It's because when the bigger assets are looking healthy, you have no reason to be in the smaller ones anymore. It's just additional risk for not enough additional reward, and that's generally why we tend to see you know, these altcoins performing badly against Bitcoin when Bitcoin, the dragon, finally wakes up again and starts spreading its wings and breathing fire. That's what I think we're about to look at again. So with Ethereum approaching that crucial $5,000 psychological resistance area, I can't be too optimistic about what's going to happen next. I definitely think that it's still looking very strong, but this chart needs a pullback. This chart right now looks like Bitcoin's chart before this pullback. Take a look at this. Just look at it side by side. Let me just play this side by side for you guys so you can really get the message real quick. You know, I mean, this is Ethereum on the 4-hour chart. Bam, look at that. And this right here is Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart before the correction. And you can see very clearly here that Bitcoin was rallying up relentlessly, not really getting any real pullbacks. I mean, obviously there have been small pullbacks on Ethereum like this, and there have been smaller pullbacks on Bitcoin like this, but nothing real, nothing significant in my opinion. And that to me is the clearest sign that we have for why Ethereum potentially needs to break down. Of course, everybody thought that Bitcoin would be immune from a correction at this point as well, and just like every single other time in history, it wasn't immune from a correction, and it ended up getting one, and at that, a very nasty correction. This was not a nice correction. This was not a comfortable correction. This was nasty to live through. Because it took a long time and Bitcoin basically did nothing. So I think the good news for Ethereum is that it's probably not going to take a long time like Bitcoin's one did. I think it's just going to cut very deep. And this can happen if Bitcoin rises. This can happen if Bitcoin stabilizes. But most of all, what I'm not necessarily doing is saying that I think Ethereum should drop. It would make a lot of sense if we did. But my main prediction with regards to Ethereum is that it is not going to perform as well as Bitcoin if we manage to break that prior all-time high. And of course, we're just knocking on the door of it right now. So I think we are going to break that prior all-time high. And to me, then it doesn't really make sense to be in these altcoin markets. I was warning you about Ethereum significantly outperforming Bitcoin before it happened. And now I'm warning you about Bitcoin outperforming Ethereum before it potentially happens. And obviously, I can't see the future, but it's not like I'm using a particularly complex line of reasoning for this. I'm just explaining the psychology of the market, and I'm sure most of you will agree with me as I say it out loud, that if you can get the same kind of the same kind of reward on a much less riskier asset, something with double the proven track record in history, you're probably going to take it instead of something that's a bit more risky. And you don't even need to take my word for it. The altcoin market is already showing you this. Altcoins are consistently right now losing against Bitcoin, Tron's down against Bitcoin, Cardano down against Bitcoin, Ethereum, of course, down against Bitcoin. You know, you can pull any examples you want and you're generally going to see the same thing, unless obviously you're looking at one of these, you know, white horse exceptions, white swan exceptions and different things like that. No, is it black swan? They're called black swans, my bad. You know, unless you're looking at something like that, I don't really think you're going to find many things that kind of disprove what I'm saying right now. So, yeah, that's my take on the whole Ethereum position. I'm going to take a couple last questions and then head off for this live stream. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Please do, once again, do me a favor, smash up those likes if you are finding this live stream useful and interesting. Let's see what else we have here. Thanks for great TA, always real and sweet. Thank you very much, Sheila. Will I talk about Project V and Castor? Eventually, yes, but right now I don't think I'm allowed to do either of them. But they're looking very, very cool. They're looking very cool, and they are headed by some of the best people I know on this planet. So I'm definitely excited for it. If we have any other questions related to Bitcoin and trading and the psychology of being a trader, please drop them here now. Guys, I'm really sorry, but this is probably going to be the last live stream I do in a while until this new channel name change really gets caught in the algorithm. I hate that I had to do it, but obviously the Four Flies name is absolutely disgusting, and I don't know why I stuck to it for so long. And this is one of those situations where the longer I delay changing the name, the worse it's going to get. So I decided to just change it a few weeks ago without really even announcing anything. So many people don't even know my real name is Sammy. And that was not smart on my part. But unfortunately, you know, it was something that had to be done. And well, because I hated the full, and eventually I'm going to change it again away from, you know, Four Flies. I'll just make it Sammy Loyal, but at least people now know I'm the same person in this transition period. And then eventually I'll knock it off completely. But when you do change names, YouTube's algorithm tends to get very confused. Fortunately, our normal videos have not been performing badly. They've just been normal. But the live streams have consistently had pretty terrible performance. So I probably won't do them just for a while. But I will eventually come back. I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind, because like I said, I actually prefer live streams more than normal videos, but there's no point in doing them if only 30% of the audience actually gets to see them. Will I short Shiba again, or do I think it will pump again? I don't know, man. This one's actually a little bit tricky. Oh, I did tell you I would cover Shiba. Well, the thing is yeah, I mean, obviously I'm bearish. It's still broken market structure. It's still setting lower highs and lower lows right now. This is undeniable. You just can't deny that. That's a fact. You know, it's look at this, lower highs, bam, 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 and the new one right there, and then of course generally setting lower lows as well. So it's looking pretty damn bearish in my opinion. This move up that we got was exactly the move that I warned you about on my live stream where I covered Shiba. I think that was my most recent live stream. I was warning you guys about a potential kind of V-shaped correction upwards, but then also saying a lot of people are going to believe this hype and buy into it and then have their dreams and souls crushed again. Because this is obviously a complete shitcoin and people don't care about them. They dump them harder than high school ex-girlfriends will to you, and just not give a fuck and never look back. And this is just the reality of these kind of coins. So, you know, those are the predictions I was very firm about and the predictions I was very confident in. Unfortunately, I have no confidence in where Shiba might go next. Whether it goes up or down is very difficult for me to say. I'm still biased to the downside because I haven't actually seen any real signs of strength, other than getting this dead cat bounce and actually not crashing back down. You know, usually you'll get a bounce like this and you'll just dip down straight away really, really quickly. That didn't happen to Shiba. So to me, that's a pretty bullish sign. Let's see what other questions we have here just before I wrap this up. Thank you all very much for the love in the comment section. What's my thoughts on Solana and the Lisbon conference that's going on now? Do I see a pump? I can't remember a time conferences have ever pumped crypto. They're usually a bad thing. Not really sure why. But yeah, I don't really care about conferences, to be honest. And I mean, look, generally, like, you know, you're just, no, I don't want to say it. I'm gonna offend some friends and stuff, but generally, most conferences are pretty terrible, and it's just complete nobodies that have no financial backing that go to them. And if they do, they don't have the balls to commit to anything either. I can't talk more about this. I'm really gonna start offending some people that know me personally, but I have no reason to believe that a conference is necessarily a good or a bad thing. There are exceptions, like this financial summit I'm at. That's why you guys never really see me attend any of these summits. I didn't attend any of them in Dubai, the ones that were happening just last month. But obviously this one was something that I couldn't afford to miss. Do we pretty much have to ride the wave, or is it a guaranteed uptrend? I cannot tell you if anything's guaranteed, mate. That is an impossible question. What's my stand on XRP? I don't like it, but I think it's actually probably going to rise pretty nicely over these next days and weeks. I am actually looking at trading it inside of VIP because while I don't like certain coins, I'm still open to making profits on them to accumulate more Bitcoin. All right, I think that's all of the questions done. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Once more, if you did enjoy this video, this live stream, you know exactly what to do. Smash up the likes, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. If you want $3,000 completely free of charge, now's your time to take advantage of this Bybit offer by signing up using the link down below in the description. And you can take a quick look at that. Make your first deposit using my link down below and get up to $3,000 completely free of charge. If you want to see how I'm going to be trading these markets, then the steps to do so to join Forflies VIP are on screen right here as well. With that, I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day. Thank you all for joining, and I'll see you all